Vincent Giallo here, standing in front of the Addams Family poster for the new movie. We're going to see the movie Crawl today. For whatever reason, they've decided not to put the poster up. I don't know why. We're also standing out here in the sun, waiting for the place to open. So I'm not really sure what kind of because the door is locked. So I don't know what kind of experience we're going to have. But
we're early.
But we are a bit early, yes. So, anyways, this will be your first horror movie in the theater today. What do you think of that, my little angel?
I'm not an angel. I'm the creeper.
You're the creeper. Yeah, my bad. You excited to see your first horror movie?
Yeah. In the theater.
In the theater, yeah. We've been watching a lot of stuff at home. What's one of your favorite horror movies we've been watching?
Basket Case.
Basket Case? Which one?
Part 3.
Part 3?
And yeah.
Why do you like Part 3 so much?
Because it is because the babies and they're very cute.
Babies are very cute, aren't they? Anyway, so yeah, stay tuned for the review on Crawl, guys. We're going to try to get in there now. I think they're opening the doors finally, and we will talk to you guys in a bit. We're actually inside now, which is exciting, and we actually found the poster. So there we go. Hey guys, welcome back. We made it back from seeing Crawl in the theater. Sadly, the creeper has opted not to be in this video. She does enjoy the likes on our my Instagram account, link below, of course, Vincent Giallo Instagram. But she decided to back out on the video, so I guess that little intro was enough for her. But yeah, we finally got to see the movie. I'll tell you what, guys, I really enjoyed it. Now, just to go back a little bit, my first exposure to these kind of film, like these creature feature, monster sort of features, I've talked about it in some other videos before as well, was of course seeing Piranha back in the day in the drive-in with this and The Changeling, which was one hell of a double feature, and probably I think was my first exposure to you know, horror, if you'll call it that. Parents threw me in the back of the station wagon, blankets over my head, and my cousin was with us. And yeah, it was really cool. My cousin wasn't really into watching this stuff, so he was always kind of peeking through his hands. But man, I was right into this stuff, and I was really young. And that's my first kind of exposure to this. So, you know, Piranha's always stuck with me. Always really enjoyed it. I like Joe Dante a lot. I really like this film. This Blu-ray here is fantastic. The movie looks really great. This is another Roger Corman, of course. I was just watching what the heck was I watching the other day? Oh my God, Humanoids from the Deep, and I really like that one too. And there's a new steelbook coming out, I believe at the end of the month for that one. So I might have to pick it up because I really like the gore in that one. It's pretty hardcore, but I always like the story of Piranha a lot. You know, I like Jaws, etc. I like Jaws 3 actually a lot. Jaws 2 is pretty good. Jaws 4, maybe not so much. But you know, there's also there's Orca and Tentacles and Crocodile 2. What else do we have? I mean, there's all, Deep Star 6, Leviathan, all this kind of stuff. But there's a lot of these films out there. But for me, Piranha was always one of my favorites. So I kind of always like to compare things to that one, just for sheer fun and thrills. And of course, the remake of this by Alexandre Aja as well is, one of my favorites. Of course, he directed Crawl. And I really like this guy, For those of you who aren't familiar with him, he's a French filmmaker, started out with the movie High Tension, which is a really great one. And then from there he kind of, got brought into Hollywood, I guess, if you will, and made The Hills Have Eyes remake, which I do have kicking around over here somewhere as well. And I really like that remake, and his remake of Piranha, like I just said, is fantastic. It's fun, it's super gory. Just a lot of really, fun things going on in it, and really does the original justice. And so when I knew he was making the movie Crawl, needless to say, I was quite excited because this guy's made some great stuff. And, for the remakes that he's done, these are actually some decent, all these movies that he's done remakes for are really good, in my opinion. So I was pretty excited about this going in. I thought, we're probably in for a pretty good flick. And judging by the comments, the comments and ratings over the weekend, on IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes, this thing's getting really good reviews. So I definitely recommend going out and seeing it. Of course, Sam Raimi as well as a producer. So we all know Sam Raimi from Evil Dead and Ash vs. Evil Dead, and of course, other things as well, like Spider-Man. But to have Raimi and Aja together creating this film, I thought it would be something pretty special. And it was. This movie was really, really good. Really well done. I'd watch it in a second. Again. I can't wait for the Blu-ray to come out. I don't buy a lot of Blu-rays of new stuff, to come out, really. I'm not a huge fan of a lot of this stuff that's coming out these days. But this is a really good one. And I also like Barry Pepper in this thing. Canadian actor who's, he picks his roles, he's fairly choosy. You don't see him a ton. Of course, he was the sniper in Saving Private Ryan. He's done a lot of other little kind of more indie kind of not cult, but indie, films and things like that. And I really like the guy. I think he does a really excellent job in this. But basically, what the movie is about is the lead character, the girl. She's actually a swimmer, and she competes competitively in college. A really good swimmer. And there's a hurricane coming across the South Florida coast, and so she finds out that her father's not returning calls, and he's actually still in this area. So she decides to go up and try to find out what's happened to him. So she gets to his house, basically finds him in the basement. He was doing some repair work and he'd been attacked by an alligator. She sees a bit of blood and finally, after a few minutes, kind of tracks him down in the basement, the crawl space, if you will. And this whole movie takes place, for the most part, in this self-contained house in the basement in the crawl space, which just sets the parameters. Here's what you have, and this is what this is where the movie focuses on, and it's just you're in it, and there's not a lot of like extraneous superfluous stuff going on around that we don't really need to see. It creates a lot of tension, for this film, having it all kind of centered in this location. Now we do have a few little scenes when they're trapped in the basement. Obviously, that's the the gist of the whole movie. Trying to escape these alligators. They look out through a little crack and they see like the gas station across the street, and you'll see a little scene there where a couple guys get killed, looting and stuff by these alligators. But basically them in the basement trying to elude and escape, and get up to the main floor of the house to escape these giant alligators. Now the special effects in this thing are spectacular too. I don't know what the heck they were doing. They must have had some actual real live, not live, but like actual props as well, obviously. But the way they shot this thing, like this doesn't look like your typical CGI, Sharknado kind of goofiness. Like there's some serious work went into this, and these alligators look real. And the way they come up out of the water and grab people, and it's really quite something. You really feel like you're watching these actual alligators in the water attacking people. And there's scenes where we're both thinking like, geez, is that real? Did they have a couple real alligators and they kind of did something, zoomed in on them or enlarged them, and I don't know what they did, but it was really, really well done. But yeah, so that sort of sets the scene. You've got these guys in the basement, and I don't want to give too much away, but what happens? They're constantly trying to elude these guys and make their way up to the upper levels of the house, because of course the hurricane waters are rising and rising and rising, and they're desperately trying to get out of this house. Fairly frantic situation, and so finally they managed to get out, get the boat. Boom, they finally escaped this thing. Well, guess what? These huge squalls, hurricane waters, this is towards the end of the film, come in and crash, throw them and their boat back into the same freaking house that they just spent like an hour trying to get out of the basement. They finally made it to the top floor. Well, they didn't make it to the top floor, but they finally got out. And then, boom, they're right back where they started, and the water's even higher. And you're like, my God, like what are they going to be doing here next to try to get away from this situation? And so the movie evolves from there, and but it's just overall, guys, I would highly recommend this film. Really, really great stuff. A lot of tense action, and it takes place, a lot of it's in the darker scenes, but you can see what's going on. It's well lit, well shot. Aja did a great job of this film. I might just actually go and see it again in a theater, because it was really, really cool. One of the better flicks like that I've seen in a long time. And like I said, I harken back to like Piranha and stuff like that. There's not a lot of great ones. Lake Placid, it was okay. A lot of these sort of newer ones and stuff, even movies like Anaconda and stuff, kind of kind of mixed in. Not really any comedy here. It's a pretty dire situation, and really, really well done. And there's a bit of a backstory. We learn a little bit more about the characters as well, so it's not just a pure adrenaline rush horror kind of jump scare thing. There's actually a bit of a story there too. And the actors do really well in this. But yeah, overall, highly recommended, guys. Crawl is worth your time and your money to go and see. If you like this review, guys, please subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when the next reviews are coming out. Also, VHS thrift hauls, VHS updates, Blu-ray collection updates, things like that. Appreciate it, guys. Thumbs up if you like this video, and we'll talk to you guys on the next one. Thanks, guys. Take it easy.